Hello, you're watching Total Coverage with Biggs and Tiny. Let's get straight to the action.
Hey everybody, I'm Joe. I'm filling in with Blake tonight. I'm sitting here with David. David, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good. How about you?
Not too bad. So tell me what deck you're running.
I'm playing Grixis Control, however I've dubbed it Expels R Us, seeing as I had a grand total of 6 or 7 Expels on the deck.
Okay. How'd you do?
2 and 3, unfortunately, but playing against aggro, you just kind of have to beat the nut draw, and I did not do that tonight.
That's right. Well, let's take a look at the deck. Alright, so here we are looking at the deck. Let's start with the creatures. What do you got? What are you running?
For the most part, Vampire Nighthawk's the best just against the aggro stuff, but at the same time I need something to win. Snapcasters, you can see the deck's almost all spells, which Snapcaster is pretty good at using those.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to beat.
Yeah, and then obviously you got your Augur Bolus instead. You got plenty of targets to hit, and it's just a kind of hold against those 2/2s and 3/3s to buy time.
Right, and with all these spells, it helps you dig those spells.
Yep, exactly.
So it looks like you got 3 Sphinxes and 3 Izzets. What made you choose 3 Izzet Charms?
The Izzet Charms, actually, the reason I was playing them is to counter Sphinx's Revelation when I actually Rakdos returned them. So originally they were Dimir Charms, but I figured that the Izzet Charms were a little bit better just because of the fact that they deal with Sphinx's Revelation and their removal spell for the early game. So.
Absolutely. Tell me what else you got going on here. I see 3 Dreadbores and 2 Rakdos Returns.
Yep, as I said, the weakness of this deck is really just the super fast aggro decks. So as you see in the main board, you got the Dreadbores as well as the Bartering Bloods. Now I'm probably thinking that they should just be Mutilates altogether. I just was kind of questioning it beforehand, seeing as I was playing 3 or 4 colors already.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure exactly how many Swamps I was going to ever at a time. But at the same time, as I said, Rakdos Return is like really the main card. I feel like it's like one of the strongest cards in Standard if you're not playing Sphinx's Revelation. But at the same time, as long as you have ways to stop that Sphinx's Revelation, Rakdos Return is probably one of the best pieces here.
Absolutely. It shuts down aggro, right? I mean, it just kind of leaves them top deck.
Yeah, like at that point, like most of the times I'll kind of like take them out just for more removal and stuff like that. But at the same time, even if it's just like a fireball, then it's typically good enough to kill them.
Okay. Tell me what you got going on here.
Obviously, we got Nicol Bolas, just a one-of, just because obviously you don't want too many 8 drops, but at the same time, every single time I landed him in a max 90, won me the game. The Diabolic Revelation was just kind of something to throw in, just kind of test. As I said, I haven't really played it, so I just wanted to see what it exactly was, and I figured if you can cast Sphinx's Revelation, Diabolic Revelation, or any number of cards you want to cast, it sounds probably good to me. So
Absolutely.
After tonight, though, I don't think it's anything that's probably worth playing in Standard.
All right. So after tonight, you went 2 and 3. I understand.
Yep.
After playing a few games, what changes would you make to the deck?
Honestly, as I said, you definitely need to take out the Diabolic Revelation, but at the same time, I think the rest of it was pretty good, even though I'm only splashing for the Sphinx's Revelation, the white. With the 2 Chromatic Lanterns, as well as the 3 White Sources, I typically had no problem in ever actually finding them. Another thing is, I might even add an extra Desolate Lighthouse, because it seemed to be one of the best card drawing utility cards here in the deck.
That's great. So here we are looking at the sideboard. Looks like you got 2 Victims and 3 Devour Flesh. When would you bring those in?
They're just mostly just against those straight up aggro decks. As I said, there's a lot of dead cards in that. Like you're never going to get to 8 or like most of the X spells. So you typically just want to have more removal to get there. So that's typically when I'll sideboard them in against those like experiment 1 aggros and stuff like that.
Okay, and I see 1 Cyclic Spiral.
Yep, just against the Esper Control. It's just one of those cards that, at the same time, like I'll typically Rakdos return them or something like that, but they're still just going to win by milling. So when they mill that away and you've got 4 Snapcasters in your main board, it's typically pretty hard for them to mill you twice.
That's a pretty good answer. I'm seeing 2 Negates and 3 Slaughter Games. What was your main target of Slaughter Games?
Sphinx's Revelation. Because typically if you resolve the Slaughter Games on turn 4 and then you Rakdos return them on either turn like 5 or 6, making them discard 4 cards. It's pretty hard for any of the control decks or just the mid-range decks to recover from.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, they're just top deck in the deck.
Yep.
So I see some Craft Digger's Cage.
Yep. Obviously, just against maybe like the zombies, or if you're just the reanimator decks, which are really popular.
Absolutely. And I see 2 Duress to finish up your cycle.
Yep. Once again, just kind of like against the America mid-range, as well as any kind of control decks. Whenever you're just trying to get rid of Planeswalkers or other Sphinx's Revelation again, it's just really good. Especially there's some of the like banned control decks. They kind of sometimes they're pretty greedy on their start. So if you just Duress and hit their Farseek and they just don't have the mana they need, that's kind of a free win
Sweet. Would you make any changes to this sideboard after tonight?
Honestly, I think the Victim of Nights need the ultimate prices because like the things you're bringing him in against are like the Experiment Jung and stuff like that, and what you're going to see with like Dreg Mangler, which it doesn't hit, and you've also got like Aristocrat, which it also doesn't hit. Not that the ultimate price it does, but at the same time in other matchups it's a lot better too.
Did you have an all-star card tonight?
Slaughter Games. That's actually the reason I was playing Grixis, was because Slaughter Games, you can just name any of the things. Like the hardest thing for me would be was like obviously Sphinx's Revelation or Dice of St. Traft, and then it's just pretty easy when you don't have to deal with them for the rest of the game. So
Absolutely. David, thank you for running us through your deck tonight.
Yep.
We appreciate everybody watching the video, and let's take a look at the games.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Tcdsm. I feel like we haven't been here in forever.
I know, it's good to be back, you guys. Thanks for continuing to watch and support us. And we're off to tonight's game with, looks like Experiment 1, Green-White versus David's.
He's calling it X-Spells RS. Basically, it's Grixis control. I know in the original list he was splashing white for like Sphinx's Revelation. I'm not sure if he's still doing that, as I was not here for this, but looks like Justin was on the play, led off with a Temple Garden into an Experiment 1, and then we saw Land and Augur of Bolus finding, was that a Diabolic Revelations?
I think so.
So
Yep, he's holding it, yep.
David is playing, like I said, it's Grixis control. He's calling it X-Spells RS because he's playing Diabolic Revelation.
It's like 7 X-Spells. It's ridiculous.
Rakdos' Return. Yeah, I think he has Sphinx's Revelation.
I think he's got it.
Yeah, there's the white. Okay. So we're going to play a tapped land. Last turn we saw a Call of the Conclave, which is this month's F&M promo. I'm sure Justin is looking to pick some of those up, but it's basically a Watch Wolf. If you were around for the original Return to Ravnica set, there was a 3/3 wolf for green and a white, and that is basically what Call of the Conclave does. Is Call of the Conclave an instant?
I believe so.
3/3 for 2 mana with Flash is pretty good. So I don't know if he missed the trigger on the Experiment 1. That should have evolved it.
No, it's right there. See it?
Does it have that ice on it?
Yeah, it's got purple dye on it.
Okay.
And another Call of the
Conclave. He's playing those on his own turn. That leads me to believe that they're a sorcerer.
Probably is a sorcery, but
it could.
It's a one hell of a way to grow your army in a hurry.
So
yeah, I mean,
turn 3, he's putting on the pressure with 2 3/3s coming in, which will drop David to 14. He's untapping, and we're gonna draw. Looks like another land.
Is David behind at this point, or is he just
absolutely?
Kinda, okay. He needs. There's Nighthawk.
There's a Nighthawk, which will do a little bit of work.
But he probably needs to have like Azorius Charms and stuff in hand just to bounce the stuff, or that'd be pretty good. Top deck.
I looked at his list briefly, and I'm not really sure.
Oh,
There's an Oblivion Ring, so we're gonna get in for 9 this turn.
I think David's gonna block.
So we're gonna block 1 and go to 8. Looks like, yep. So we'll see what this turn brings us.
This is probably the very definition of a beatdown, right?
Yeah, he's getting brutalized. There's 2 mana for, I think, twice.
Oh boy, he's really digging down.
Yeah, he's dead on board if he doesn't have an answer for at least one of those. I see a couple of Dreadbores. Oh, he's going to scoop. So we're going to game 2 that quick.
That was a quick first game.
Yeah, that was a fast first game, and this green-white aggro deck has totally has the potential to do that.
Yeah, especially if he curves out, or especially those Centaurs turn 3 and 4. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Or 2 and 3. Excuse me.
David's sideboard, we have a couple of Duresses, a couple of Slaughter Games. There's a Grafdigger's Cage. Not really sure what else was in there, what he's going to bring in for this game. And I have no idea what Justin's list is. Hold on a second. We're bringing up David's list to take a look at the sideboard. So when he showed me this list, I was really excited about it. A few things I think that probably could have been done differently. So okay, here's the sideboard.
Victim of the Night, Duress.
We got 3 copies of Victim of the Night and 2 copies of Duress. and 2 copies of Devour Flesh, 3 copies of Slaughter Games, 2 Grafdigger's Cages, a Psychic Spiral, and 2 Negates. So we're definitely going to see the Victim of Night, and maybe not. Does Victim of Night say werewolf or does it say wolf? Probably says
Non-werewolf, non-vampire.
Non-vampire, non-zombie.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll probably see those come in.
Would we see Slaughter Games, or is that...
No.
You don't think so?
Slaughter Games isn't good.
There's not enough bombs in there.
Sort of matchup.
Okay.
And we'll probably see the 2 Devour Flesh. So.
All right, let's go on to game 2 then.
I feel like that last game probably would have went a little bit differently if David had the red mana for the Dreadbore.
Yeah.
I believe he had 2 copies of Dreadbore in his hand. That would have made quite a bit of difference. So, an Experiment 1 for Justin, and we're going to have an Augur Bolus for David, finding a Think Twice. So, as long as his Experiment 1 doesn't evolve here, should...
Yeah, I think Justin just had monster turn 2 and 3s last game, and
there's the Call of the Conclave.
Oh boy!
Yeah, we're off to the same start.
I think he kept a good hand, dude. Honestly.
So we're evolving the Experiment 1, and
how could David possibly erase this? I guess that's what I'm asking.
It seems to me that his deck is lacking some board sweepers, which is I think is something that, again, I don't have the list in front of me, but something that's essential if you're playing control.
Yeah, maybe Mutilate or something.
Mutilate would be a little bit difficult. Yeah, he doesn't have any board sweepers at all. He's running 4 copies of Barter in Blood though.
So it's made a lot of
it's
spot
decent.
removal.
It's a lot of 1-for-1s, and then his X spells. 3 copies, 3 copies of Dreadbore, 3 copies of Izzet Charm, and 4 copies of Barter in Blood. So there's a lot of 3-butts in Standard right now, and Izzet Charm's not doing a whole lot of work. But I believe that he told me that those were basically to counter Planeswalkers was the idea, and he can also use them to manipulate his library a little bit. So.
Well, he's doing plenty of the library work. I just hope he can dig into some removal or something, because
there is a Chromatic Lantern for David. You can see it on tap here. Justin plays a Temple Garden tapped.
Looks like he has nothing.
And there's there's a Locksmith Smiter.
Wow. He's just curving out like he means it, dude. This is...
Yeah, I'd like to take it his list a little bit more. I saw him playing a few times and wanted to get this game on the camera because I'm pretty interested in this deck.
Do you think Populate's going to be a thing in the next set?
You mean in the next Standard, the next format after the rotation?
Yeah.
Well, there is a lot of really good cards that have Populate.
Sure.
Some of the Reanimator decks are running Tristani as a sideboard tech for Thragtusk Mirrors, because you can swing into their 3/3s and they can go ahead and block, and then you don't trade. You get your beast token and then populate, and you get to keep your token, and it's just eliminating them one at a time, plus you're gaining life off of it every time. So they can also board it in against the aggro decks. I think in the sideboard it replaces a 1 of Rock's Faithmender. Yep, he brought in the Victim of Nights, which is going to take care of the Locksmith Smiter.
I think tokens are kind of in a pretty good place right now, because we have plenty of Planeswalkers to make them. We have plenty of Populate cards. There's Thragtusk. That's going to help Justin out a little bit. Man, he's just bringing the beats, man. Holy cow.
Yep, this deck is similar to the Experiment Jund deck and the Naya Blitz deck. A little bit more mid-rangey though. His end game is a little bit bigger. So very good against a deck like this.
What would you bring in against the green-white Populate deck, or this green-white deck, if you were David?
I would have brought in the 3 Victim of Nights and the 3 Devour Fleshes.
Okay. Would you try it out for a sweeper like Bonfire or something like that, or
oh, you mean how would I alter the deck to handle a deck like this?
Sure.
I really like Mizzia Mortars right now, but it's really really intensive on the red mana.
Sure.
So he's only got 2 copies of Chromatic Lantern, and then he's got 4, 8, 10, 14 red sources. So it would be pretty difficult for him to get triple red. Not saying it can't be done, but it's not going to happen on turn 6 every time.
Sure. I wonder why did just only spend with
Here's a Snapcaster Mage.
Targeting what?
The Victim of Night, I would assume. He's going to Selesnya Charm.
Well played, Justin.
I don't agree with the Selesnya Charm.
I thought Selesnya you could regen or no.
No, it's
just makes it bigger, or what's the other one?
I'm confused about what happened. Oh, he regenerated it. That's what he did. Okay, he regenerated it via Experiment 1's ability, not via the Selesnya Charm. Okay, that was confusing.
Nonetheless, it still lived for the next turn.
Yeah.
You know? And when you're the beatdown, I think you need every creature you can get.
I'm also a big fan of Selesnya Charms right now.
They're very utilitarian. Do you think they'll get up in the Boros Charm territory?
No.
Boros Charm's so good.
There's a Snapcaster Mage for a Dreadbore. The Experiment 1 looks like it has 2 counters on it, so I think you just go for the Thragtusk probably.
I think David's really debating. Because that Tusk is a big problem.
Yeah, he's just having all kind of issues this game. He's not drawing his lands. He's playing a lot of 1-for-1, so cards like Thragtusk are a problem. He did take him there from 3 creatures down to 2, which I don't disagree with. We're gonna see a Strangleroot Geist. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you just block the Thragtusk and the Strangleroot Geist. I wish I would have been paying attention to life totals. I'm not sure what they are.
I think David's down there, and I know Justin's still up. Because he gained 5 from Thragtusk, I think he has 25.
Yeah.
I think David's still
interested to know what David is in. I believe that green die says he's at 7. Is that a 7?
I think you might be correct.
So, yep, that's
probably
what I would do.
Chump and hope to draw into something.
It's gonna. I don't really know what he could draw right now that's gonna save him.
Revelation.
Well, it's not going to get him out of dead territory because all he did there was make that Strangleroot Geist bigger, so he's representing more damage next turn. He can rev for 2, which is not going to be enough. Let's see. I think you're going to take 3, so he's down at 4. I think what he wants is a Barter in Blood.
You got a victim, it looks like.
He is holding a copy of Barter in Blood.
Oh, okay. Deathrite Shaman. I mean,
no, I don't think that was a Deathrite Shaman. Yep, there's the Barter in Blood.
And that just makes him sack
so
somebody.
I think
right?
Justin probably just sacks the Strangleroot Geist and the he's gonna sack the Thragtusk. So he's got a beast now. Still represents dead. If I'm correct in assuming that he's at 4 life. I could be wrong. Yep.
David's drawing dead.
Yep, that was the game.
Oh.
So, not what we had hoped to see, but we did get to see a good game.
Yep. And it's nice to see an aggro deck that actually curved out correctly and didn't. He he didn't stall. I don't think once.
No, he kept the pressure on the way that he should have. So next week we'll be featuring Joe Domino. I'm not sure what deck he's playing, but I want to thank Joe Wannett for covering for me as I was not able to be there this night. And I want to thank David for brewing up a really awesome deck, and it looked like it was a lot of fun to play. The camera game that we got wasn't his best game tonight.
The other 2 games the other 3 games I guess were a lot better, and apparently we just missed it.
Yeah. All right.
But
well, thanks you guys for joining us. I'm Blake.
And I'm Biggs. See you next week.